Tennis elbow is not just for tennis players. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I have Neuro Coffee in hand and it is perfect. All right. Great Wednesday. Going to be busy. We got to dig right into today's Q&A, and it is from Jarrod 2Rs10. Jarrod says, "Hi Bill." Hi Jarrod. Thanks for all the information you post. Most welcome. I saw the video you posted about wrist positions and was wondering if you have any solutions for something like tennis elbow. It seems like elbow position would be something to be concerned about. Asking for a friend. Well, Jarrod, let's see if we can help your friend a little bit. The first thing we want to ask, we're talking about lateral elbow pain, so unfortunately it gets branded as tennis elbow for some reason. Not really sure where that came from, other than the fact that tennis players do experience this. But anybody can. You'll see it in the weight room quite a bit as well. But ultimately what we're dealing with is a situation where we have too much pressure or tension in one place, and then that's going to result in a pain experience. So it is an elbow result. It's typically not an elbow problem, although you can identify changes there that sort of take the blame a lot of times for why we do have pain. But we want to think about orientation of the elbow as a possible influencer, and then also as a possible solution. So we think like, okay, shoulder bone's connected to the arm bone's connected to the elbow bone, kind of a thing, but all of that is attached to the axial skeleton as well. And so we want to make sure that we have full adaptability through the axial skeleton, then we have full adaptability at the shoulder, elbow, hand, wrist, etc. And so if we don't have that full adaptability proximally, then we're going to have to create some sort of compensatory strategy distally. Now, let's talk about this elbow a little bit more specifically, as far as why we might see this lateral elbow situation. So if we think about any activity that's going to drive shoulder external rotation and elbow extension at the same time. So I think one of the reasons why we can brand this as a tennis elbow thing is because if you're hitting a backhand, I need a pretty strong elbow extension and I'm driving shoulder external rotation at the same time. Now, a little thing to remember about triceps. So triceps is branded as this elbow extender, which it is technically speaking, but it's a twister. So remember, everything moves on helical angles. So the elbow joint moves on a helical angle. So triceps is a twister. So the cool thing about triceps is that it can actually assist with that shoulder external rotation. So if I'm driving anything with a strong shoulder external rotation and elbow extension at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a medial posterior medial compressive strategy above the elbow. So think about all the fibers that are medial to the line of the humerus. That would be triceps compressing that space. Now, if that happens, that creates external rotation in the shoulder, which is really, really nice and handy. But the big problem that we end up with is that we have a situation where the lateral aspect of triceps is now eccentrically oriented. So if we looked at the elbow capsule, we get a compression on that posterior medial aspect of the capsule. We'll get an expansion on the posterior lateral aspect. And now I don't have a really good elbow extension mechanism like I normally would if both aspects of the triceps were intact. And so now I have a substitution problem. So anything that can potentially extend the elbow is going to try to help along. So now I got anconeus, a tiny little thing that's going to try to extend the elbow. Supinator is going to try to extend the elbow. Anything that's attached to the common extensor tendon is going to try to extend the elbow. And so now I have muscles that were not well designed to produce this force, trying to produce this force. And so I get a lot of pressure and tension at the lateral elbow. And so what I want to do is I want to show you a way to test this, which is kind of counterintuitive. We're actually going to use elbow flexion as our assessment, because if you think about, if I create a posterior medial compression on the inside of the elbow, I'm also going to then have a resultant expansion on the anterior medial aspect of the elbow. And so what happens is, as I try to flex the elbow, because of the medial aspect being full of fluid, I can't compress there. So as I flex my elbow to end range, I'm going to do it in a slightly pronated position. So the test that I'm looking for here is supinated elbow flexion with full compression at end range. And so I took Eric into the purple room because I kind of figured that he would have a little bit of a deficit that we could actually show you in real time. So we'll show you the change. So the first thing I did is I put him up on the table there, and we flexed the elbow fully in a supinated position. You can kind of see where the end range stops. But then I took him out of supination. I put him in a little bit of pronation. You can see I can compress the elbow more fully. Now we're going to go over to the left side as a comparison, and right away we see that we do have this fully compressible supinated elbow flexion as our comparison. So basically Eric is showing us this elbow orientation that we're talking about. So here's the fix, if you will. What we're going to do is we're going to drive external rotation through the entire system on that right side. So we're going to do a dumbbell curl. We're going to cheat the hand over to the inside edge of the dumbbell. That's going to promote supination right away. Now Eric is pressing his thumb onto the inside of that dumbbell, and so that is ER of the hand. So we're driving external rotation from the hand up. Then if you look at this body orientation, we have the thorax, the shoulder, the humerus, and everything is ER'd as he does this dumbbell curl. And so it's really simple. We're just driving external rotation through the entire system. And what we're going to get is we're going to get a reduction of that concentric orientation of the medial aspect of triceps. We're going to restore the orientation of the elbow. And now when we put Eric back up on the table and we check our supinated elbow flexion, now we get this fully compressed look. And so again, it's just a matter of understanding the orientation at the elbow. And now what we should have then is a normal extensor mechanism on the back side of that elbow, so we don't have to substitute with our tiny little muscles like anconeus, supinator, and the common extensor compartment. And so hopefully, Jarrod, that gives you an idea of what you're looking at with this lateral elbow stuff and provides you a little bit of a solution. Keep in mind, it is a solution, it's not the solution. There are other things that can be going on, but this is a really common one. So I hope it's useful. If you have any other questions, please go to askbillhartman@gmail.com, askbillhartman@gmail.com. Tomorrow morning, we got coffee and coaches conference call, so please don't forget that. We'll see you at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a great day.